too sluggish for a good high-intensity workout after a long day of work. That's one of the problems one of my clients recently called me with. So the suggestions I gave to him were timing caffeine and carbohydrates, after ensuring him it was a very solvable problem. So if we just look at energy levels throughout the day, it's pretty common that we know there's an afternoon dip. We might be 3, 4, 5 hours after lunch, still 2 hours before dinner. We've been focusing throughout the day, or mental energy is just drained. That's probably why a lot of cultures have siestas to try and recoup some of those energy levels. But if we can't do that, we want to look at other ways to combat it. So the first thing I do is I make sure I'm going to consume a simple carbohydrate, probably 1 to 3 hours before exercise. Um, at least when we look at the science of how long it takes a simple carbohydrate to get broken down and that sugar delivered to our bloodstream for energy, we're going to say 1 to 3 hours. Now, I've experimented with this myself, and I do about 30 to 45 minutes before. So I know that if I have a simple carb before I leave work, after about a 20-minute ride home, and then maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes to get ready to exercise, that's sugar is hitting my bloodstream and I'm ready to go. Now, that snack should probably look like a few hundred calories, 400 calories, maybe an apple or two, a large orange, a bag of pretzels, something along those lines. If that upsets your stomach, it might be a little bit easier to do a sports drink like a Gatorade or Powerade because it's still going to give you the simple carbs, but your body doesn't have to work as hard to digest it. The other thing we look at is caffeine intake. So if you're a coffee drinker, you could simply move one of your cups of coffee toward the end of the day. So 30 minutes before exercise, perhaps. Caffeine happens to be one of the safest, most studied ergogenic, which is performance enhancing aids that we have. So what I simply do is I have a cup of or two of coffee in the morning, but then as the day winds down, I look to be finishing a cup of coffee, again, about 30 minutes to right before I leave for work, so that by the time I get home, that caffeine is kind of hitting my system. I'm starting to feel my energy levels come up, and I'm ready to get in a good workout. So those are just two relatively easy ways to fix what's hopefully a solvable problem with low energy levels if you're trying to work out after work. Now, you want to look at some other things too. Make sure you're sleeping well, sleeping enough, because if you're not sleeping and resting and recovering, it's going to be really hard to have that energy. But if you've been feeling sluggish before you take on a workout in the early or late afternoon, try those things out. Let me know how they work down in the comments, or if you have any other questions, feel free to ask. Thanks.